Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Further Beyond Gaming. My name is Cody GT, and in today's video we're going to be continuing the series of talking about which battlesuit is best for each Valkyrie. But in today's video it is going to be slightly different, as I asked for your guys' suggestion on combining two Valkyries, and the suggestion that was offered to me the most was combining Rita with Seele, and the reason being is because they are both Scythe users, and I thought that was a fantastic idea because they both don't have that many battle suits. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to combine, and what I was thinking was Rita and Callan, but you guys made the suggestion of combining those two Scythe users, which makes a lot of sense because we can see which Scythe user is the best out of all of them when it comes to the battle suits. So that is what we're going to go ahead and do in today's video. I do hope you enjoy the video today. If you do, go ahead and drop a like. It really does mean a lot to me. And for these Scythe users, we're going to try and hit a like goal of 150 likes. I know you guys can do it. With that also being said, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, and remember to hit the notification bell to stay notified every time I do upload a new video. And if you want to join the Discord, I'll have a link in the description down below. Go ahead and join the Discord so you can talk Honkai with like-minded people. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. So if you're not familiar with the series, what we do is we take a look at each Valkyrie and their battle suits, and we rate them from worst to best. Now, when we say worst, it's not necessarily that they're bad. It just means that it's the worst battle suit for that Valkyrie. And with that also being said, keep in mind, this is also just for fun. We're going to take a general look at them and just rate them overall. So keep that in mind as well. So we're not really taking a particular area, just overall in general. So I just wanted to go ahead and put that out also. Now, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the Rita. So keep in mind, we're combining Rita and Seele, and I'll be bouncing back and forth because unfortunately I don't know of a way of combining, which I don't think I can. So we're going to be bouncing back and forth. I'm going to go ahead and start with Rita because I think the worst Scythe user out of both Rita and Seele, in my opinion, of course, is Phantom Iron. And obviously you can see that by me not investing a single resource in this Valkyrie. There was something about when this Valkyrie came out where I just was not too interested in her at all. For some reason, the gameplay style I wasn't too interested in. She seemed unique, she seemed different, but at the time there were just so many good mecha type Valkyries to go ahead and use that I didn't really see a place for her, to be quite honest. And like I mentioned, she just didn't seem like she was offering too much of anything else to the table, that I at the time just didn't really see the point, and so I just never invested anything into her. Of course I unlocked her for collection purposes, but outside of that I really just did not use her at all whatsoever. And so I know it's a bit of a shame. I know she can be fantastic. I know if you do, implement the resources and put the time into this Valkyrie, she can be good for you, but I just don't think that she's really bringing anything outside of what another great mecha type Valkyrie would bring. Or I just think that there's better options when it comes to mecha types, because mecha types, especially when S-Rank Durandal comes out, is just so stacked in my opinion. So I just didn't really see the point. But she is of course, mecha type melee. She does some good damage. She has some great support. She is a lightning elemental, so that's great. I guess it was because we had Shadow Knight and then Hawk of the Fog, the augmented came out, and it's just like the mecha lightning types are just really, they're holding that area down. So I didn't really see the point. But her ultimate's really cool. She does summon the Stalker Carbon, which is that wolf creature that comes out and helps you and fights with you. So that's pretty cool. I definitely would love to see this Valkyrie get some type of buff, or just something unique in my opinion. The character design, for Rita, of course, Ritas are absolutely fantastic. I love them. So Phantom Iron, in my opinion, I think she is the worst battlesuit out of all of them, just because I don't think she's bringing really anything all that special to the table. So moving on from there, the next one was a pretty difficult one for me to decide, but the next one that I would probably have to choose is Umbral Rose. Now, do not get me wrong, I absolutely love Umbral Rose. I love her kit, and I love what she's bringing to the table, being a psychic type. I believe she was the first Rita that we got, if I'm not mistaken, and she was actually a really, really good Valkyrie when she first came out, and in my opinion still is, especially for your psychic type, especially for your physical psychic type. So she is a melee AoE DPS. She has, like I mentioned, where she shines is in her kit, where she does a lot of good damage, a lot of burst damage, and she's able to have really high survivability, where some of her invincibility frames, if I can English today. And so she was actually one that I did invest time in, and I did invest resources in, because I really did enjoy her from a skill and kit standpoint, as well as a gameplay standpoint as well. She has some really good mechanics. She's able to do a lot of damage, and she's good in a lot of areas, whether it be Abyss or in Memorial Arena. She definitely helps out a lot. The only issue for me when it came to Umbra Rose is I did not get her applicable weapon right here, the Aphrodite, which was a bit unfortunate. I know I went for it, and then as you can see, I don't have too many of her applicable stigmas, but if you fully gear this Valkyrie out and you put the time and resources into this Valkyrie, she is a really good one to have on your account. She can be a really high damaging Valkyrie for you, and she's able to really support the team, be on a lot of different team combinations. So Umbra Rose, I really do love her. I think she's absolutely fantastic. I do want to triple S rank her at some point in time, but I would put her as the second worst Scythe user, I guess you can say. And we'll get into that more here in just a second. So Umbra Rose, really, really good Valkyrie here. Now, the next one that I would move on over to, we're going to jump over to Seele, and I would have to say the next one would be Swallowtail Phantasm. So Swallowtail Phantasm, the first Seele, I remember the hype around this Valkyrie when she was first leaked was off the charts. Everybody could not wait for the stigma of Seele Volarai to actually get a Valkyrie form that you can use in game, and when it leaked, it was all the hype, but even more was the typing. She was not one of the three normal typings that we have, which is biological, mecha, and psychic. She actually was bringing a new typing, which was quantum, and everybody, including myself, was extremely hyped for that. And so it made her that much more viable, because then we had a new Abyss, which she excelled at, and she was really good to use in. But come to find out, Swallowtail is actually a really, really good A rank Valkyrie, a great one that you can farm and get to triple S rank, and she could do a lot of damage if you put the time into her, and she can actually be a really good Valkyrie for you, especially in that Abyss where you're fighting those quantum types. She becomes that much more valuable. So her ultimate is really great. She is the melee AoE DPS once more, just like Umbra Rose. She's a good physical type to have on your team. She's able to do really good damage for you, as you can see on the chart. Where it comes to the burst, the damage, she has good survivability as well, and so she fits on a lot of good team combinations just because of her typing and what she brings to the table. But much like Umbra Rose, where I failed to get the Aphrodite, I did get the Undyne's Tail at some point, and I was using it on my Swallowtail. But I believe at some point in time I used it as a as a Honkai core to level up one of my other weapons. I forget which one it was. So now I'm wishing I kept it, because as you can see, I have two. Sorry about that, guys. Of course I got a notification, but I was saying that I wish I would have kept the Undyne's Tail, because I have two of her stigmas, and I really do like Swallowtail Phantasm. I think she's absolutely fantastic. I think she's a good free-to-play Valkyrie to farm up, get the triple S rank, and she's going to be really good on your account. So Swallowtail Phantasm, the next Scythe user on the list that I would go ahead and put here. Now, once again, the next choice was a difficult one for me, but if I had to choose, if I had to put the second best Scythe user in the game, in my opinion, that would be Ice Rita. Now, if you guys have been here any amount of time on the channel, you guys know how much I truly adore Ice Rita. And the reason being is because I found her to be so underrated when she was first announced and she was first about to come on the global side. I know a lot of people did not summon, and I know a lot of people were not high on Ice Rita because she was coming on the heels of some really good Valkyries. I believe she came after God Kiana and Vermilion Knight, if I'm not mistaken. So people were not too high on Ice Rita, especially being another biological type. At the time, we just had so many good biological type Valkyries that Ice Rita, there was just no real need to have her. Plus, not too many people thought she was all that great. Like, she just was not bringing anything to the table that would really, you know, make your account all that much better, especially if you already had God Kiana. It was just no real point, right? So people underrated her, in my opinion. Probably still to this day one of the most underrated Valkyries in the game. But come to find out, I did pull her. I got relatively lucky on her banner. I pulled her pretty early, and come to find out, Ice Rita was phenomenal. I'm telling you guys, phenomenal. If you don't have her, she is absolutely fantastic. For the people that do have her, know how fantastic she is. The reason being is in her kit. When you pop her ultimate, she has such high damage reduction, and her damage goes through the roof, especially against enemies that you put in those ice cells. She just mows them down. Their health literally melts. It is absolutely crazy, and I didn't realize this until I started using her. As you can see, her damage on the chart is through the roof, and that is 100% accurate. She is an easy to control Valkyrie, not hard to use, and her burst damage is phenomenal. But the key to Ice Rita is getting that ultimate off as quick as possible. But the great thing about the ultimate, and why that is so important, is because it takes so little SP. It's 80 SP, where most are 100 or 125. Hers is only 80. So you get that very quickly, and she's able to do that on multiple occasions, and so she's able to just do damage, and the damage reduction associated with it after you do the ultimate is insane, to where you could just be attacking and not taking any damage and not worrying about having to evade if you don't want to, because her damage reduction is so high after you pop the ultimate. And then if you do have her applicable weapon, doing the weapon skill allows her to be able to do more damage. So she's just an insane Valkyrie, especially being a biological elemental ice type. It's just a really good pick. If that's a pick you're going for, she's a phenomenal pick. And then on top of all of that, her weapon did get a pre-arm, which made her even that much better. If we go over here, which I did go ahead and forge, of course, and I've done videos on that. Did forge her pre-arm because I love her so much, and it just made her that much more insane. She does more damage against psychic types. She's able to get SP that much quicker. She does more damage just in general now. She is phenomenal. Absolutely insane. I love my Ice Rita. I'm such an Ice Rita fan. It is not even funny. So take that with a grain of salt, guys. I just am. So maybe I'm being biased here, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, I forgot to mention this earlier. Let me know in the comments down below your list on how you would go ahead and list them on your tier list. and I love to read those comments. I love to read your guys' list because they're always different than mine. Some of you guys agree, but a lot of times they're different, and I love to see how you guys place them. But let me know in the comments down below if I'm just being an Ice Rita fanboy. I don't know. Maybe I am, but I just think she's that great. I really do. And she fits on a lot of good teams. She's a go-to for me on a lot of occasions. She does well in a lot of different scenarios. You know, she's very situational in certain areas when it comes to Memorial Arena. In Abyss, she can be great, depending on, you know, what you're doing and who you're taking on. But I think she's just phenomenal. So Ice Rita, I think, is the second best Scythe user, even though I love her that much. So this is how you know I'm not being that biased, because I think the best Scythe user in the game of Honkai as of right now is Stingent Nymph. And the reason being, the reason why I choose Stingent Nymph is because of her being a quantum type. Just right there, her typing just catapults her that much. And her being just a really good Valkyrie, even without a typing, just if we're looking at her from just a kit standpoint and what she's bringing to the table, she's really good. And then her typing just brings her over the top because she's neutral against all typing, and then she does, and then she's obviously effective against quantum types. So she is really, really good. Her damage potential is fantastic. Now, she is pretty gear dependent. You definitely want to at least have her weapon, but if you do, her damage potential is through the roof. She does great burst damage. She's easy to use. She has pretty good survivability. And she's just very unique, very different to play with. Does take some use to as far as knowing when to ult, and knowing when to just stick with one of her personalities, I guess you can say, because one of them is really good for multiple enemies. The other personality is really good on a single target like boss enemy. So you just really have to know when to use one or the other. You definitely want to have max SP when you're going to do her ultimate to be able to do the most damage. But she's a fantastic Valkyrie. She truly really is. If you have her applicable stigmas and weapons, she's going to be one of your higher damaging output Valkyries. She fits on a myriad of teams because of her typing. She's a physical type, so you pair her with Celestial Hymn, and her damage is just going to be off the charts. Her SP cost for her ultimate is a little, well, actually, excuse me, you can use her ultimate just about at any time, so you don't have to worry about that, which is actually a benefit. And her leader skill is great, so she is just all around a fantastic Valkyrie. She was one that I was going for the double S when her banner was around just recently, just because I think she's that good. But Sinjin Nif, just all around fantastic Valkyrie. Her typing makes her so much more viable, makes her so much more versatile as well. Being neutral against all typing is just it's a priceless type of kit to have, or mechanic to have. So she's really great, and so I would have to put Stingent Nymph as the best Scythe user in the game, just as of right now. There may be some to come out here in the future. We'll have to wait and see, but that's how I would go ahead and list them for the Scythe users. So in the comments down below, once again, let me know what you guys think. Let me know your guys' list, and let me know if you agree with me or not. I know, like most of you will not. This was a difficult one, just because of, you know, where I was rating them and how much I had to take my bias out of it. It was a bit difficult, but I had fun doing this list nonetheless. I had fun doing this series nonetheless, and this series is actually in a playlist, so if you want to see all of them, you definitely can, and you can kind of binge watch it if you want. And then keep in mind, I have a video on this new Shadow Knight Fu Hua's outfit here, which is phenomenal, coming out probably tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. Remember to hit that notification bell. But I am going to go ahead and get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I feel like I rambled on long enough. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. And until next time, my boys, until next time, it's your homie Cody GT, and I'm out.